Good afternoon. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. I'm here at 3910 Woodcliff Road in Sherman Oaks, and I'm preparing to perform a video examination of the main sewer line here on the property. Now, the main sewer line is the portion of the waste drainage piping that is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drain line system to the public sewer. The building drain line system then is the portion or portions of the waste drainage piping that is underneath or interior to the structure. Our examination today is not focused on the building drain line system, so if further evaluation is desired regarding the building drain line system, a licensed plumbing contractor should be contacted, or a specialty building drain line video examination can be set up through our office. So I'm going to be performing my examination today through this 3-inch main building drain waste vent. This is a pipe that comes vertically up from the drain lines under the structure out through the roof to allow air into the system for drainage and to allow sewer gases to escape out into the atmosphere above the roof line. Now, the reason I'm choosing this location instead of the cleanout that we found kind of at the center of the patio area is that cleanout is quite a bit further from the structure than would be standard, and we wouldn't be able to see the entire main sewer line from that location. And seeing as we've had additions or alterations to the property, I wanted to make sure that I was seeing all of the main sewer line and making sure that everything was done correctly. So we're going to drop in here, and pretty much immediately after we get into the horizontal pipe, we're going to turn to run straight towards the front of the property and come out essentially between the main house and the guest area that's been put in here off of the garage. And you'll see here we're changing it right to a modern plastic pipe. See the opening there at the top of the pipe? That is essentially the primary main sewer line cleanout. It's actually been covered up by the tile there in that walkway between the house and guest house going towards the garage. At this point, I'm not going to really make a big deal about exposing it, since we don't have much going on between here through this section. This is a modern ABS plastic piping, which is really the proper application in this case because this line runs out underneath the guest area, picks up that bathroom, and then turns to run out across the front of the yard at an angle. So when they built that addition, they did go ahead and change the piping out from the original clay to a approved material, being the modern plastic. So that was really my primary reason for wanting to see this area. Now here you see another opening. This is the cleanout that's out near the center of the patio. This was put in later, most likely when they reran the kitchen line out and then tied it into this primary line. So at least they've provided some access to the system for maintenance. More importantly, in the areas it's going to definitely need it. So these modern plastic pipes, they are expected to have a long service life. They also have a very smooth inner surface, which allows for really high washout capabilities. In other words, they don't have a tendency to collect debris and have a high potential for blockages. And then these plastic pipes are also intended to be impervious to root intrusions. So dropping down a little steeper here as we run across, and then kind of turning a little to the left to make our turn to connect up to the original clay pipe. Now what I'm seeing here at these joints is actually a white colored glue. I need to double check and make sure that's going to be a proper application here for these ABS pipes. Typically you're seeing a black compound that actually creates a chemical weld. Melts the pipe, essentially creates one piece of the pipe. I know your PVC glues and things like that are not intended for use with these modern ABS plastics, so I'm going to double check that. I'll make sure I indicate in my written report the proper condition there. Alright, so we're getting into the original clay piping now. We've got an area here where we've got some root intrusions beginning. See these roots are kind of growing down through the pipe. A little hard to see if there's any damage at that connection. Don't see anything obvious. A little debris buildup there causing some slow drainage. Now the clay pipes, they are also expected to have a fairly long service life. being a natural material, they are less likely to deteriorate underground, but they are fairly brittle in nature and do have a higher potential for damage during seismic activity or earthquakes. They can also be damaged by the roots that come into the system. It's fairly common for roots to intrude into these lines at the joints or connections. Normally we are suggesting that these root intrusions can be maintained with regular sewer line cleanings. It's when they're left unmaintained for extended periods that they can create blockages in a system and have a higher potential to actually damage the pipe with those joints. What I've seen so far, I am going to recommend a good thorough cleaning of the line. A little shifting in this section here. Doesn't look like anything's broken necessarily. A little bit of play in that connection, and then we drop down into our public sewer right here, about 57 feet or so from where we exit the front of the building. So all in all, it's a functional system. We do have common conditions with the root intrusions at those joints. I do want to do a little bit more investigation as to what the compounds used to connect the plastic pipes is. Make sure they're using a proper glue. The concern there is you just don't know how they're going to hold up. It's not a glue that was designed for the pipe. But for now, everything's generally functional. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video portion of the examination for today. Please do refer to my written report. We'll describe our final findings and recommendations. This is Mark Harrison with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant day.